Good day, everyone. This is your European Open briefing for Friday, October 13th. My name is Michael Florentiades. I'm the Chief Economist here at xm.com. These are the key points we are watching today. The US dollar is waiting for the inflation numbers, for September's inflation numbers, to get some further rate clues what's going to happen to US interest rates. The de-escalation of the Catalan independence crisis seems to be helping underpin the euro, although not today, in particular, not during this session. We had some down move. The Aussie and generally risk sentiment has been helped by upbeat Chinese trade data, especially import data. We'll have a look at that in a second. And we have a US-centric, I would say, data calendar, particularly with inflation, retail sales, and many Fed speakers. And also we have the ECB Vice President Victor Constancio and the IMF, World Bank, International Institute of Finance meetings. So as you can see, this is a preview of US inflation. We have headline inflation around 1.9%. Core inflation around 1.7%. So the Fed is going to watch inflation very closely and wants to see confirmation that price rises are holding on before hiking interest rates. Of course, the CPI, which is announced today, is not the Fed's favorite measure, but still it's important. It should have some hurricane impact still, so we could see some distortions in the data. So we are expecting 2.3% for the headline number and 1.8% for the core, definitely an increase from the previous month. Now, as you can see, and I'm showing this especially versus the yen, the dollar has been under some pressure. I think this is mostly tied to some continued doubts about what Washington and the White House is going to deliver in terms of tax cuts and growth boosting agenda. We seem to have a never-ending supply of news that there has been some conflicts between the White House and either Congress or the media. Now, with dollar yen, I would just like to point out that the post non-farm payrolls 2-month high of 113.42, which it hit briefly, looks far away for now. Now, the euro is having a good week as the crisis over Catalan independence seems to be heading towards some negotiations. Catalan leaders are reluctant to declare independence for now, but the euro clearly off its highs that it hit yesterday of above 118.80. Now it's around 118.17. Now, there is a Reuters story which said that the ECB is going to reduce the amount of QE it does next year. Of course, it will taper from its existing QE, but it's going to keep it going for an extra 6 to 9 months. We should watch 26th of October to see what's going to happen with the ECB. Now, Chinese imports grow at a very sharp pace, around 18.7%. This is a yellow line, the percentage change in imports, while exports come in close to expectations at 8.1% year-on-year growth. So why does the market care about this number? Well, high imports show good appetite for raw materials and therefore can boost commodity prices if there is strong appetite from China. And it also shows that there is a strong domestic demand in China. So demand for goods is high. The trade balance did come in lower because imports were so high, but nevertheless we said that it was a sign of a growing economy. Keep a note that debt worries do persist over China, and that we have the once every 5 years we have the very important party leadership congress that starts next week and will be watched by China watchers, definitely. Australian dollar is holding rather well versus the the greenback. Of course, the Chinese data did help, especially iron ore import data, which showed they showed to be quite substantial. Now, in terms of monetary policy, some are expecting, we are expecting a rate hike from the Reserve Bank of Australia, but it's going to take things slowly for fear of upsetting over-indebted households. So we should have some positive support from monetary policy, but don't expect too much because of over-indebtedness in that country. Now, in terms of the calendar, we had strong producer prices yesterday out of the US. So will we get, especially core producer prices, will we get strong consumer prices today as well? German final inflation came in as expected, so no news there. And finally, we have University of Michigan preliminary consumer sentiment. It could also move markets. In terms of speakers and monetary officials and government officials, we have the IMF World Bank meetings in Washington. They are going to feature some heavyweights who may speak on issues they choose, including monetary policy. We have some International Institute of Finance panels. So the IIF is kind of a sideshow to the main IMF World Bank. It's a separate institute, but it has close ties with the IMF and the World Bank. So we have Fed speakers such as Rosengren, Evans, and Kaplan. So it will be interesting to watch them. And some people from the ECB. Vitor Constâncio, the ECB Vice President, is going to speak. He will present a speech. And we have a couple of ECB board members, and Mario Draghi, the ECB President himself, will be participating in panels. And we should all watch for headlines out of the IMF World Bank meetings with so many officials there and participating in panels. That's it from me. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.